Hey, Trails Collective, this is Ian here, weighing in on the weekly rundown for March 17th. A little bit crazy, Ellie and I trying to deal with the corona on our own schedules and impacts, so she did a good bit of the prep work, but in our own social distancing and still trying to figure things out. She wasn't able to be here tonight. Hopefully we'll be back here together next week. So let's do the run through. This past week we had the Montvale 5 and 10 miler. Matt Werner took the top spot in the 5 mile with a time of 34:53. And Julia Boaz wasn't far behind for the women in 41:23. In the 10 miler, Joseph Darwin ran a smoking fast 1:02 for a 6:20 average pace, flying. And Amy Horta took the women's title in 1:18 and change. The Belmonte endurance races went down. Probably one of the fittest and fastest couples in the U.S. and just wonderful people. Brian, Amy, and Amy Rozecki in that mix. Amy took the win in the 50-mile race in 10:30 with Haley Bellerby second in 10:52. Amy was supposed to have MMT on deck, which has since been canceled. And Haley, I couldn't find info on her, what she had coming up, but it may not be accurate now anyway. In the men's race, Travis Zipfel edged Brian Rozecki. The two finished in 7:58 and 8:11 respectively. Rachel Veal and Jacob Roberts won the 50K races in 6:06 and 5:43. Also, what was supposed to be on deck for Travis and Brian looks like they're also canceled as well. Travis was supposed to have Iron Furnace and Promised Land. I think Dave Horton just sent out the info today that Promised Land is off the table. I was supposed to and stoked to run my first Promised Land this year, and maybe I could have gotten some of Travis on film, but looks like that's not happening. And Brian, I was supposed to connect with at Tammany 10 this weekend, which has also been canceled. And he was also looking forward to Trap Rock and MMT. I'm not sure about Trap Rock, but MMT also canceled for this year. We'll get into a little bit of that here in a bit. Double Squatch went down. There was 13 finishers in the 6 hour and 6 hour, with the victors being Brian Gretsch and Lauren Longfield with 62 and 59 miles respectively in the 6 hour Saturday and 6 hour Sunday. Of the 10 different event format offerings over the 2 days in both timed races and distance options, they had about a couple entrants in one of the races and upwards of 30 entrants, and I think in the Saturday 6 hour. So pretty good turnout for that event given the state of the world. Last week there was cancellations of BNA Half Marathon, the Elizabeth Furnace Fat Ass, and the Blades 10 miler. Coming up, or actually this week or this past week, Regional Trail Media on the Connecticut Ultra Trail or the Cultra Trail World. They had a interview with Shan Riggs of Connecticut. Not sure whether any of you are familiar with or friends with Shan. He's not necessarily the fastest cat over some of the shorter distances, but the man can move over some of the longer, quicker courses. I think he just ran a 15:33 miler, if I remember right, which I think they talked to him a bit about on the podcast. It'd be great to connect at some point as well, but tune into that at Cultra Trail Podcast. Life is Trail Running YouTube channel. They had Elusive Hairy Gorilla Half Marathon 2020. And that's some of what was out there in at least the regional trail media. For, again, any tuning in, if you've got a podcast that we miss, a podcast coming up that has maybe some East Coast or Northeast specifically love or content individuals, for sure let us know, and we'd love to plug it. And you can follow up at thetrailscollective@gmail.com or send us a message through Facebook and we'll get it. Some of the rest of the world, we had the Pioneer Spirit U.S. 50-mile Trail Championship. They took over this year's the 50-mile U.S. Championship. I held that title for Cayuga Trails the past number of years, and felt like I was just getting to the point where it was an in-name only for the championship. We started pretty deep when we had a big prize purse, but as we backed that off, our field narrowed a bit. So I wanted to see if we could let that go, get some new energy elsewhere, and so we headed out this year to cool California. Tim Tollefson edged out Kalin Khan for a new course record in 6:46, flying. Tim's supposed to run next, I think, Western. Hopefully that still goes down. I know that's something that a lot of people nationwide, whether they're running or just looking forward to how it all goes down, look forward to. Ashley Hawks in the women's field nabbed the win in her first attempt at the distance. The results look pretty messed up online, so I couldn't tell just how close that was in edging out Kaylee Demerjian for second. On FKT news, getting away from some events, Michael Wardian's targeting a number of FKTs with a lack of races available at the moment. On March 13th, he finished Maryland's Billy Goat C&O Loop in 1:10. It's a 15K track that links 3 trails. He was back at it again on March 15th and set the Washington, D.C. 50 States FKT route record. It's a 62-mile loop that links all 50 U.S. street names within Washington, D.C. Wardian, you're pretty incredible, always colorful. It's always fun to see what you're out and doing. It'd be great to get you on the Trails Collective here at some point, and we'll try to make that happen. Ian Ridgeway, don't know if any of you know Ian, pretty stellar, strong trail runner. He covered the Monastic Ridge Trail in Massachusetts in 2:14. Also on March 14th, this is a single track out and back trail in Wachusett Mountain State Reservation. And then what's trending, at least on our team message board at the moment, is whether we can nudge Mike Sudi, and at the request of Elizabeth and Joe with Mountain Peak Fitness, and resurrecting Tom Kaplan and Mark Gravitt's Gunks Trail Challenge. Hopefully that'll happen. Hopefully we can get a little bit more info on Mike if he starts putting it together. But it's just something that's maybe outside of the normal event space. I think we're all going to be looking for opportunities for connection, for motivation, for adventure. And so reach out to us. What do you all have planned out there? What's next? Going after Strava segments, just tackling new challenges on your own. Whatever it is, let us know, and maybe we can cover it, and again, try to keep us all connected by trails here and see what everybody's up to. And so we'll follow up with you on that. The weekend ahead, pretty much the event slate got cleared. I think the only one that I couldn't find information on was the special 13 and 26 mile trail run in Safe Harbor, PA. I'm not sure about this trail entity. Can't really tell on the website. A little bit cryptic. So it may still be running, but I'm doubtful. Otherwise, again, things got pretty much cleared. What was supposed to be on deck for me was the Tammany 10 down in New Jersey. It seemed like it made it through the fires on the course, but it didn't make it through the Corona on deck. I was hoping to catch up with Rozecki and hear a little bit about his race this past weekend and some other team members, and see if I could finish that beast of a course. But it's off. Terrapin Mountain Eco X event down in Virginia, also canceled. Unsure if they're going to push back yet. Maybe I can check in with Clark or the crew down there and see if they've got a backup date. Tark's event to Hale and Back, Westwood, Mass, canceled. Hat Run 50K, longtime classic, fan favorite from some of the locals here in Ithaca, also canceled. Roots and Road in Honeyoi Falls in New York. It's a Yellow Jacket Races event. Just a heads up that all Yellow Jacket races are postponed till the end of April. The Shamrock 5K Trail Run in Harrisonburg, Virginia. This event shifted to a virtual race. So Shamrock 5K Trail Run, if you want to partake in their virtual race format, check it out. Registration's probably still open for that. The Breakthrough Trail 5K, postponed until November. Tito's Trails and Tacos, ranged courses from a mellow 10 to a gnarly 50K, canceled pretty last minute here. And the Spring Rat Race in New Jersey, also canceled. So I hope to tell you maybe what some registrations are going live this week, but honestly, with everything that's going on, didn't get a chance to scout some out. I know a lot of us as RDs are just trying to figure out where to go from here. And so I didn't really get a chance to scout, and I didn't hear back from or in forward from any RDs reaching out. We'll try to keep you posted on things that do open. If any RDs or even friends out there. If you hear of a race that's going live with registration, let us know, and we'd love to mention it, especially in those races that sell out quick. So I jumped right into it here tonight, but obviously the topic at the moment is the coronavirus. I'm still, like most of us, trying to navigate the waters day by day, and I don't know if any of us really know how this goes. For me, in this past week, we managed to push back Breakneck Point trail runs. We rescheduled from April 11th to September 12th, and we'll just have to keep an eye on things. I would assume and hope that things are pretty settled in by then. I know the fall schedule is going to get pretty jammed, but everything's pretty crazy and stressful. I've had other RDs mention that some entrants are threatening lawsuits if they don't get a full refund, and it's just turning into kind of crazy chaos out there. Hopefully everybody can just get through this together, maintain kindness in all directions. As an RD pushing back an event, I'm so thankful for everybody that's had patience with me as I try to figure that all out and figure out whether we can get people rolled over into September, into next year, or just refund outright. I can't speak for all RDs and how much expenses they have sunk into events, but just know that some that have prepped long in advance have a lot of expenses that are sunk in, and just refunds aren't necessarily possible. So it's not like they're running away with a huge sum there. So just hope that everybody's patient out there and that we can really get through this and figure this out together. For me on this end, I also have a run retail store, and I don't know where we go the next couple weeks. I don't have the right answers. I'm trying to figure out whether it's okay to have employees in here, whether not, whether we should be open, whether we shouldn't. Trying to listen to my own body and not overthink any little thing that comes up and assume I've got corona and just know really what to do with that. I've been home with I have 3 daughters, been home with them the past couple days, and hopefully we'll get some quality time. I guess a silver lining here. My oldest daughter, we went on a really wonderful, probably 6-mile run hike today. Really just good quality time spent. After that, I went with my middle daughter to a skate park. I hadn't been on, I think in this case, rollerblades in 20 years, but doing what I can to really just engage and be present as a dad. But I also took a pretty solid digger and hit at the park, so I may be hobbling here for a few days. But I'm definitely trying to embrace the new opportunities and really figure this out. So for all of you that are tuning in, the hope with this weekly rundown is really just to give you the heads up on what's happening this week, events that happened prior, and really pull it all together. It really will flourish if you all plug in, spread the word, plug it on your own Facebook posts, ask if other people can give us the heads up on events, get people on here for interviews, and let's really make this thing work and really pull it together. And send us a message on, again, as I mentioned, really where this all goes from here. What's, I guess, giving you some hope and motivation in these moments? What are you looking forward to? What are some new things that we can be doing together? Let us know at trailscollective.com. Let us know on Facebook, and let's keep this rolling. So for this week, thanks for tuning in, and I'll talk to you hopefully here with Ellie by my side next week. Thanks so much.